With 2025 just kicking off and the start of a new year, I've heard so much chatter about no spends and low spends, and it's caused me to re-examine exactly what I'm thinking about my financial spending habits and how I want to approach this new year. I was watching a video by Sarah Ray Vargas, and she was talking about her overconsumption and the reasons why she was choosing to do a low buy year this year. But then I had to really reflect on myself, and I thought I'd bring some of those thoughts to you guys today so I can kind of explain a little bit of my backstory and where I'll be heading in 2025. And if that sounds like something that interests you, then let's get right into the video. All right, so to get started, I first started thinking about where I'm coming from and where I have issues that I want to work on for 2025. Yes, your girl does have issues, okay? And she's working on them. But when I tried to contrast what it means to have a no spend or low spend year versus treating yourself, I feel like both of them involve conscious decision making around spending. And that's kind of what I want to lean into today. All right, so to get started, let's first break down what the two different concepts are and how they are very similar but very different at the same time. So I would say for a no-buy year, let's start there first. A no-buy year is often taken on as a way to combat consumerism, right? We are purchasing too many items, unneeded items, and now we want to pull back and keep an eye on exactly what we're spending on. People take on no-buy years or low-buy years to cut back on consumerism as a whole, declutter their lives, save money for bigger goals like an emergency fund, a down payment on a house, paying off debt, and overall just to make more thoughtful decisions about spending. And that's kind of where it's similar to treating yourself. For those that I know that follow this practice, it's not that they're trying to deprive themselves, but rather they're challenging mindless consumerism. It's about breaking away from the habit of like buying things out of convenience, out of boredom and impulse, and learning to live with less. Well, treating yourself has some similarities but some differences. While a no-buy year often encourages some restraint, treating yourself focuses more on spending intentionally, mindfully choosing things that bring you joy or add value to your life. The key difference is how you justify the purchases. A no-buy year causes us to reflect on what we truly need and challenge the impulse to buy out of habit, while treating ourselves encourages us to enjoy the things that support our happiness and well-being without guilt. So, where do I land in all of this now that we understand the concepts of the both? As for me, I feel like there's a lot of emotional tension between the two sides. In some ways, I definitely live as if I'm running a no-buy year, and I'm not. But then in other ways, I definitely want to treat myself. And in 2025, there's going to be some big changes. Now, since I am a true believer that everywhere that we are is a culmination of places that we've been or experiences that we had, I want to kind of expand a little bit on me and my backstory and the reasons why I have some issues with treating myself. As I said, I lie between the no spend idea and the treating yourself idea. And in different areas of my life, I have very strong opinions about both, and those are the things that I want to shake up and change for 2025. Now, when it comes to food, dining out, things like that, I indulge. I treat myself in any way possible. I go to fine restaurants. I impulse buy in eating out, dining out, having those experiences, buying whatever I want at the grocery store, and impulse buys are what I do in that particular category. And that's something that I want to try to get a hold of in 2025 and have more of a low spend idea behind my spending on dining and eating out. Or even eating in, because if I go to the grocery store, I do the same thing. I want the newest products, the best foods. So that's something that I want to get a hold of by doing low spend for this year. But there is some categories that I have hard time spending on and treating myself in. And in that way, I want to indulge more in spending in those areas for 2025. Since I said everywhere we are is a culmination of everywhere that we've been, I do want to give you a little bit of backstory and maybe the reasons why I have such difficulty spending in certain categories. One thing you might not know about me is my mother is a shopper. She loves to shop. And she's kind of calmed down now that she's gotten older, but this has been her habit for years and years and years. And I, as a child, saw her purchase excessively, okay? Think hoarder, okay? We tell her, you're a hoarder, okay? Think that. Because I was actually raised by my mom who overindulged in everything fashion-wise, okay? I think I took the route of being the complete opposite of that. and really critically thinking, like, do I need this item? Is this item gonna last? And so I have so much mental chatter in my mind about purchasing things like clothing or household goods that I hold back from doing it, even when I need it. As an example, my oldest son, he told me one time, and he likes to buy fashion. He's a fashionista guy, okay? What do you call it? Fashion forward guy. He tells me the only time you actually buy things is if you need it to make money. That's when you buy things for yourself. So for instance, I'll go buy the DJI camera, even though I still haven't, but I'll buy it because I want to use it for my vlogging, you know, and in ways that will help me. I bought the shoes that I needed for my nursing job, which were the Hokas, because I needed it to help my back. But when it comes to just buying something just purely out of joy or self-care or just for comfort, I instead see it as an overindulgence or a luxurious item that is in excess and not needed. And I don't want to play into consumerism the way that I have seen done before. But in other ways, I'm able to spend money. Like for instance, I just took a trip this year to Japan and then just went to Seattle at Christmas time. And I don't have problems spending money on travel because I tell myself, oh, you're creating experiences that you're gonna remember later in life. And so you should spend money on those things. But it's material things that I have the hardest time with. And for 2025, I wanna change that. I think just as I wanna take the no spend or low spend approach with food and dining out and things of that nature, I also want to start to spend more money on the things that will bring me comfort and joy and mindfully spend on those items. So maybe I might find one piece of high quality clothing, something that'll actually last in my closet and not feel guilty about buying it. I had a little bit of an aha moment over the past couple of weeks, and as I was putting this video idea together, I started thinking about little things that had been said to me. One, during Christmas time, my guy, he brought me a Skims gift card, and I have it here. The reason why he bought it for me is because if you've been on this channel, I've talked about buying Skims so many times. Okay, have I ever went and did it? No. Do I have the money to buy a Skims outfit 2, 3, 4, 10? Yes. Why don't I buy it for myself? Why? I don't know. But I'll go to Shein and buy something cheap, or I'll buy a little here or there. I did a fashion haul on a video recently. Let me put that card down. I did a fashion haul on a video recently, and I bought a lot of really affordable pieces that I wasn't all that impressed with. But it's because the expensive pieces, the high quality pieces, I felt like, is that a waste? Am I ever gonna get use of them? Am I gonna wear them? And I wanna change that. Another aha moment I had, I went to Seattle recently, as you know, if you saw my video, and I was wearing a jean jacket that I've had for like probably at least 5 years. It was gifted to me. And I have recently went to Patagonia and bought my youngest son a jacket for the trip. And my oldest son has a steep discount at the store. So while we were there purchasing my youngest son a jacket or a coat, my oldest son said, hey, don't you want to get yourself something? And I was like, no. I looked around the store, no. Now, I knew I was going to Seattle and I knew it was going to be cold, but why didn't I buy myself a coat? Why? I'm going to do that. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I'm actually going to do it this year. And it involves me doing some mental work around what it means to spend money on myself. I will spend it on my kids all day long, but when it comes to myself, that's where I have difficulties. And the last example I have is around house. Okay, I know I need a new couch. I've been having this couch for years. I know I need a new couch. I need new bedroom furniture. I need dining room furniture. You know the reason why I need all these furniture pieces in different areas of my house is because I never buy furniture. That's why. I never buy furniture unless it's absolutely broke down, need it, then I'll replace it. But I was talking to a good friend of mine, Joan. Hey, Joan, if you're watching. I was talking to her last night and I was telling her the story about my mattress. Now, I slept on one side of the mattress and it had a little sunken part here in one side of the bed where I constantly had slept for years. And when my back started having problems and I had the sciatic pain, I thought it might be due to this mattress. And I said something to my guy and he said, let's switch sides, instead of him saying, let's buy a new mattress, which I should have just bought a new mattress to support my back. But again, I'm running into these problems of actually spending. So with all that being said, where does it leave me for 2025? I've reflected on where I've come from. I've reflected on where I've been recently. And now let's talk about where I'm headed. For 2025, I want to make some changes. And I want to start with establishing a low buy challenge for myself in regards to food. Okay, that's the only category. I still want the experiences of traveling. I'm still gonna go travel and I'm gonna spend money in those areas, and I don't wanna cut back on that, period. I just don't want to. I want those experiences. But I will do a low buy challenge as far as food is concerned. And I'll get more deep in depth into that as we talk about some of my envelope spending and areas like that later in another video. As far as spending and treating myself, I want to come up with a treat fund. And that treat fund is not going to be around Stunkin'. It's not going to be, which is my Starbucks and Dunkin' fund. It's not going to be around food in any way, shape, or form because I'm trying to cut back in those areas. But I do want to periodically, maybe once a month, buy myself a nice piece of clothing or something for the house. Something that is meaningful and thought about. And that's the reason why I'm setting up the Treat Yourself Fund, is because I want to not have impulse buys in those areas either, which probably will never happen. But I want to actually intentionally think about what it is I would like to buy mindfully and what would actually bring me joy in my space, whether it's clothing or furniture. And that's what I'm gonna work on. Luckily for the first month, I can go ahead and use my Skims card. Can you believe I've had this card ever since Christmas and I still haven't made my way over there to get those Skims? I have some hurdles, okay? I have some mental work to do. But I am gonna use that card first in order to go ahead and buy myself some core pieces that I've been looking at and eyeballing for some years at this point. The contrast between treating yourself and a no-buy year is about finding balance. Finding balance between indulgences and being intentional about pleasure and having some discipline. I'm really just trying to find the space where I am in balance in all areas. I'm truly starting to realize that you don't have to spend recklessly or excessively in order to treat yourself, but you also don't have to deny yourself the little joys of life. And I have to find the middle. I'm just striving for the balance. So yeah, those are my ideas about low spend, no spends. I know they are all the rage right now. Think about where you lie on the scale, and in different areas you can be in different places just as I am. Like in one area, I'm truly almost a no spender, and the other area, I am truly like, let's treat myself. So I want to kind of blur the lines, the harsh lines, and bring a middle point for several areas of my life. And I'm going to be working on that, and I hope you're here to see it. I always say that I'm just a girl who's here trying to work on her life and bringing you guys along for the ride. So now that you know where I'm headed for 2025, let me know what your thoughts are on my journey. But more importantly, what are you thinking about as far as your journey for 2025? All right, I think that's everything for this video. I appreciate you guys for being here. Whether you're new to this or true to this, I love you all. And put this one single emoji right here if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Don't forget to like the video and share this video with someone else who might need to challenge some of their thoughts around spending as well, because that's all that this is a reflection on the beliefs that we have about spending on ourselves, treating ourselves, or pulling back in overconsumption. Everyone has some point on the scale that they're at, and sometimes you're at multiple places at one time. You saw it here first. All right, I think that's everything for today. I will talk to you guys all very soon. Take care.